Hello everybody. Welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing well and that you're all having a wonderful day. And without any further ado, let's jump right into it. This is a little bit of a weird one, and I will explain why after. Charles Hoskinson, the founder of Cardano, is once again back in the cryptocurrency news, as Charles Hoskinson has expressed interest in partnering with Kraken, the cryptocurrency exchange, in an effort to, he says, help them build their layer 2 blockchain network. You might have heard, you probably were here. We heard a couple of days ago that much like Binance, Coinbase also made their own layer 2 solution called Base. And Kraken announced that they're looking into the idea of creating a second layer, another blockchain that people could use. It's nothing more than a way, is like another, I don't want to use the term cash grab, but every exchange doesn't need their own coin, and they sure as heck don't need their own chain. So this is basically another way to bring in revenue and or show that there's interest in your network and or infrastructure, as nearly every crypto exchange has announced at some point they want to go public, which would then make them extra money. They're also now announcing they want to make their own coins and their own chains, which would then even make them extra money. So if everyone else is doing it and Binance profits from it and Coinbase allegedly has been profiting quite well from Base, of course, Kraken will do the same. The interesting part is that normally we don't have a major figurehead within the cryptocurrency space who kind of peeks his head out and says, hey, I want to help you with that. And I think there are a couple of reasons as to why this actually happened. This move comes as Kraken is actively seeking a blockchain developer to enhance its technological capabilities, with notable contenders already being in the running. They kind of already announced who they're going to be working with. So the fact that Hoskinson was like, hey, you can just work with me. You know, Kraken's ambition to launch its own layer 2 network is part of a broader trend among major crypto companies to extend their operations in blockchain. They just want extra money. They're trying to figure out other ways to make it seem like they're more relevant when they're just supposed to be cryptocurrency exchanges. We don't need these extra chains. We already have others. The strategy not only opens up potential new revenue streams, thank you for writing that, but also solidifies their standing in the rapidly evolving digital currency market. Kraken is currently considering several firms. The ones that we heard of were Polygon and Matter Labs. Everything is on Polygon, which is on top of Ethereum, so that goes as no surprise. It is not clear whether or not Cardano will ultimately make the cut. It talks about Coinbase as Base, yada yada, and then it talks about how much money they made from it. So, as you might have imagined, this was incredibly popular news because it has Charles Hoskinson. It has the idea of Cardano working with Kraken in some sort of way. I will say this is a bit weird and or unorthodox, normally because these crypto exchanges, the idea of building a blockchain for an exchange may be relatively new, but behind the scenes, I'm sure there were many discussions as to what they wanted to do, how they would build it. It's not simply that they sat down and they went Polygon. I like the sound of that. Is there a Polygon in the crypto space? Should we just hire them? No, they've had discussions with these companies already as to what they can do, how they can how they can make Kraken money, etc., etc. So if we end up getting news in the future that this actually did or does take place, and that they decide to use Hoskinson for something in some sort of way, I would actually be incredibly shocked. Cardano is a very popular blockchain, but I've noticed over the last year, Charles Hoskinson is kind of, I mentioned to you before, you've seen it in like every fifth video. Charles Hoskinson goes on these like really weird rants on YouTube. No, I heard you. No, they're not similar to mine. No, but he does these like, someone at the salad bar like took the last couple of lettuce, and then he'll go online talking about how like they shouldn't have lettuce and shouldn't have their own blockchain. It's always really, I mean, he didn't do that exact thing, but you understand it's always these like really weird situations. So I don't assume, I try not to assume that he means that Kraken should be putting their layer 2 blockchain on top of Cardano. I think that would propel ADA to brand new highs. You know, we definitely see some movement there. But these companies tend to have these conversations behind the scenes, and I assume that they've been talking with the people from Polygon, and I'll say, you know, at least over a week, closed door discussions. But this was incredibly popular news. I think sometimes people read further into a lot of things, similar with other projects who announce that they want to do something, and people kind of take it as they will be doing something. So of course, if this ends up happening, it will be super mega ultra popular news, but at the moment this is all heavy hyper speculation. So cool. Charles Hoskinson apparently is trying to talk with Kraken and helping them build their layer 2 scaling solution thing that every other crypto exchange is doing, because it's really difficult to be original at this point. It takes a lot of effort to do anything else. So that's the Kraken Nano news. Yeah. Let's move on. Also looks like we're back in 2021 news. The burn rate of the meme-inspired cryptocurrency known as Shiba Inu has recently surged to a whopping 14,380% over the past 24 hours after the lead of the project's marketing team unveiled a brand new ambitious strategy for 2024-2025. Nearly every coin, every chain, every project. We spoke about this earlier this year as we move closer to the halving, and as we see prices moving higher, this is always the time when projects and companies begin to announce their the new thing that's coming out, the thing that they're going to have, the thing that's going to drive everyone absolutely insane. There we go. Drive everyone sane. And while this is why we've had a bit of a lull hearing about projects over the course of the last year, typically, if you announce or release good news, partnerships, updates, projects, upgrades, you name it, it gets absorbed into like the price decreases. So many people don't release that kind of information. And this is why we've basically had an avalanche of like company, corporation, bank, and country news once again over the course of the last year. Shiba Inu, as far as I can tell from social media, is still relatively largely popular. But they also have this kind of like Cardano-tron kind of thing going on, where they keep announcing that new things are coming and new things are going to happen. There's going to be this new amazing thing. You won't believe it. We're going to have this. This is going to be incredible. This blah, 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 blah. And then it either does not take place or takes a while for the actual activity and or thing to come to fruition. In a tweet posted on Twitter to her over 100,000 followers, someone named Lucy, it just says Lucy. What's the rest of her name? Okay, someone named Lucy noted that the project's layer 2 scaling solution Shibarium is set to spread decision-making across the community. That's a very weird sentence. Okay, with all tokens set to have a say in the protocol. This is also very like ancient in the cryptocurrency space, the idea of like actual decentralization. I know some of you out there, I know it actually means something to you. But to the other 98% who have no idea what I'm talking about, The original idea of cryptocurrencies was the idea of if there is a blockchain and there's a vote going on, something is going to be changed on the network. On this thing, I want to make sure that everyone gets a broccoli emoji every time they type the number 7. I don't know why I said all that. Someone has to vote on it. And the idea is if the creator alone of the chain votes, well, that's not very decentralized. However, if everyone can vote, that shows proper, true decentralization. The issue is that for many of these protocols, they kind of have a weighted version and or how rich you are version. So the rich version is that, well, you have to have over 250 million of these coins to be able to vote. That's not easy for everyone. The weighted version is, well, everyone gets a vote. However, the ones with more coins in their wallet get a larger say in the vote, which there were many chains like that a couple of years ago. And it's like, you think your project is going to be around in 5 years when you are basically saying the only people whose votes matter are the wealthiest and the actual coins developers. It's a bit weird. So to say that all community members will have a say in the protocol is the way that it should be for every single protocol. Lucy, whoever this person might be because they're not saying her full name, also noted that the project is looking to avoid the risk of a few dominating the decisions by involving all tokens in voting. It should have always been that way, while also encouraging active voting participation. The project's plans also include fair and transparent governance and paving the way for long-term sustainable growth through collective decision-making and active participation. Cool. So fantastic. I assume Shiba Inu has already launched. The last 14 times that we had Shiba Inu news, it was just about coin burn. There has been no layer 2 scaling solution news. I go over news every day. There's been none. I don't know if this has already launched. It sounds contextually that it has already launched. Cool for the decision making and cool for allowing everyone to have a say in the project. That's very, very smart. And I guess that's the thing, is that the coin burn continues. I know they're still on that very long road trying to get to 1 cent per Shiba Inu. I mean, I think it's definitely possible, but a lot of coins need to be burned before that actually ends up happening. So welcome back to 2021 once again, where we have Shiba Inu news all the time. We do not and have not had Terra Luna coin news, which is very surprising because those two were always hand in hand. That's the Shiba Inu news. And yeah, let's move on. Also in the news, like, I get it, but it's also like, oh, okay, sure. Why not? Athena Bitcoin, the company operating a state-owned chain of crypto ATMs in El Salvador, is planning to integrate the Lightning Network into 100 of these machines within the next couple of months. We are at the beginning of, I thought we were there in 2019, the everyday usage of the Lightning Network. We had news earlier this year that Coinbase is looking to integrate the Lightning Network. Changpeng Zhao had a tweet that said they're looking to integrate the Lightning Network into everything Bitcoin on the platform. And I think Kraken maybe also said the exact same thing. We've had a couple of companies and corporations who've also come forward and also said the exact same thing. The idea being no one in mass is going to use Bitcoin if if they have a $14, $15 transaction fee. Like, it's just literally not going to be a thing. You might have been noticing over the course of the last couple of weeks, the transaction fees across the major chains are looking a little bit crazy. I made a transaction on Ethereum, and I think the transaction fee was like $16, and I was like, you have got to be joking. We have not even gotten to like the previous all-time highs, and these numbers are little bit bonkers. So the idea is that companies and corporations and crypto exchanges, you name it, would basically all be running with Lightning. So that we have instantaneous, nearly free transactions. It costs 1 or 2 Satoshi to be able to send something. But then this news came out, and my confusion was that this was exclusively for something about El Salvador. And I was like, oh, that's cool for them. And I was like expecting a little bit more, but no, the news was just that 100 ATMs within that entire country were going to be using the Lightning Network. Oh, also, if you get a chance, this is like it's like a 7-minute thing. I saw a video on YouTube maybe like a week ago where they were talking about, I think it was also about this. I think it was about, no. It was about Bitcoin ATMs in El Salvador, but then there was another video talking about the spread of, they call them BTMs, Bitcoin ATMs, across the United States, and how like they're gaining a lot of attention and traction. Very interesting stories that some of the people were talking about. This is also from like a couple of years ago, where there were apparently a couple of people who do nighttime activities, and they were saying how when the night is done, they actually put all their money into Bitcoin as like a safer way than actually having cash on them. And I thought that was very futuristic when I saw that one. According to a press release from Athena Bitcoin Global and Genesis Coin, they apparently have already enabled the use of the Lightning Network across their infrastructure and will now be implementing it. That was a weird sentence. First in El Salvador and then across all of Latin America. The network is a layer 2, yada yada. According to Coin ATM Radar, only 3.7% of the world's crypto ATMs support the technology. Yeah, it's not, we don't get news like this all the time. So cool. You know, that's very specific. That's a very specific thing. That's like us getting news that one particular grocery chain in Greece is like using Lightning. You know, so it's cool for adoption, but it's more like we need a little bit more like mainstream stuff. Still waiting for Bakkt, BAKKT, to, you know, swing back on into the scene and tell everyone how they can pay for their lattes and clothing through the Bakkt app with Lightning, and how no one's doing that. So maybe in the future somebody will do it when Bitcoin. I'm still waiting for like the $500,000 Bitcoin. I don't think many people are going to be. That's the Athena Bitcoin. Wow, they have Bitcoin ATMs now. I didn't know that. This is very futuristic. Yeah. Let's move on. Also, in incredibly popular news, HSBC, the largest bank in Hong Kong, has partnered with a company called Metaco, Meta, and then CO, all one word, a Swiss digital asset custody and infrastructure firm that is owned by I think that sounds like a drum beat or whatever. I sound crazy. It's owned by Ripple. Of course, that's why the news is incredibly popular. And they're going to be developing a new custody service for tokenized securities. You might remember about a week ago as well, we had news about another bank who was trying to get into the cryptocurrency space. Banks, for some reason right now, where they are mentally, is that they're building up the infrastructure to be able to custody coins, tokens, securities, you name it. Anything that can be digitized, which apparently in this world is anything. They're making the infrastructure for it, because I think one of the things that we saw in another video, it's believed that over the course of this decade, before this decade is over, I think like 30 to 40% of all assets will be digitized in some sort of way, or be on a chain, or be an NFT, or you kind of name it. So I forgot, what was the other bank? It wasn't SBI. There was another like major bank. It wasn't HSBC, obviously, but there was another one who also announced that they were also going to be building a platform. Oh gosh, what was it? Anyway, it doesn't matter. And that they're also going to be tokenizing securities, and then basically using these companies as a way to custody them as far as like actual risk management. these banks do that so that everything is flowing through them. There's always like safeguards and safeguard and a safeguard and a safeguard and a safeguard. So multiple companies can like bounce through all these things to make sure that not one company is liable should anything actually go wrong. So of course, the major news is that Medico is owned exclusively by Ripple. They purchased it this year or last year for I think like $250 million because Ripple understands, as they talk to banks all the time, that there is a need for like a hyper custody service. And we've kind of gotten past the point where it's just like crypto exchanges, like banks are actively in the space. So what have you? The idea is in the future, everything will be digital and these banks will be able to hold the assets for you. The service is set to launch in 2024, as is everything else. Everyone's waiting for the bull one, and will allow HSBC's institutional clients to securely store and manage digital assets like tokenized stocks and bonds on Medico's Harmonized Custody platform. Harmonized leverages blockchain technology to enable seamless trading, settlement, and custody of digital assets. They said we're seeing increasing demand for custody and administration of digital assets. HSBC is delivering the next generation custody infrastructure that will be scalable and secure. Yeah, not really much more to go over. This obviously was hyper mega ultra popular news. It has to do with, once again, another gigantic bank that we keep hearing about all the time because they're always in the cryptocurrency news. Once again, essentially working with Ripple, who exclusively owns Medico, and therefore it's absolute. There we go. It says May 2023, they paid $250 million for Medico, and it looks like it's working out for them. So another day, another Ripple news story, because they're constantly always in the news and they have done exceedingly well for themselves. After I told them years ago to just go other places, like do other things, like look how much money they're making now. That's yet another day, yet another Ripple banking news story. And I just always sincerely hope that people are paying attention to all the news that keeps popping up out there. That's the HSBC Ripple Medico news. And yeah, let's move on. Also in yay news, the US-based crypto exchange Kraken, who's also been in the news a lot recently. Kraken is launching their offerings in Belgium, utilizing an EU subsidiary. I'm not sure why, but Belgium, the UK, and there's one other place. It's not France, it's not Germany, it's not Italy, it's not Portugal. Was it Poland? I don't remember. They make it very difficult to like work their cryptocurrency-ally. Like it's just almost like it's obvious that the government is either afraid in some sort of way and or they are trying to like diminish the amount of people who could potentially get into the market. But it's like constantly there's, even earlier this year, I think it was Gemini who had, no, it was Binance. But I think Binance had a problem in Belgium and in the UK and in Canada because all these countries keep trying to like say, oh, you need more paperwork. Oh, this isn't working. So the way that it usually ends up working out is that if you as a company, similar to like in the stock market, if you want to basically work somewhere or have the paperwork for somewhere, you acquire a company in that country that already has that paperwork. And as you acquire them, they become yours. You then de facto also have that paperwork. I know it doesn't sound that logical and shouldn't work that way, but that's the world that we live in. Crypto exchange Kraken is opening their doors to Belgium as part of their commitment to double down on their European presence. They want to make more money. In a blog post, the San Francisco-based crypto exchange said the move was made after the company had registered its services under the virtual asset service provider Voss Regimes in Ireland. Is it snowing? No, those were leaves falling. From the corner of my eye, all I saw was like regimes in Ireland, Spain, and in Italy. Brian Gahan managing director at Kraken Europe, said the exchange wants to educate more Belgians about the transformative impact of crypto asset technology. We want more money. We need their money. He didn't say that part. He said, we believe in offering a compliant trading experience powered by our industry-leading client service, robust security protocols, and market-leading position in liquidity and volume for Euro crypto pairs. Cool. So apparently they were able to do this because they acquired something called CoinMeester. CoinMeester. MEESTER. That has to be pronounced Meester, right? BVBCM. Very long name for a cryptocurrency exchange. They got it from the Netherlands, and that allows them to then work in Belgium. This world is stupid. Anyway, cool, amazing, fantastic. So they had to get more paperwork. They acquired a company instead. Do you understand how weird this world is? Imagine going to a regulator and being like, hey, can you sign this paper for us so that we can work here? Hey, we got all the paperwork. Here's our 17 lawyers. We make sure we did everything okay. And they go, paperwork? I don't know if I want to look through all of that. And then they tell you no. And your only other option is to buy another company for, I assume this was millions of, I don't assume this company was free. And that's the only way. We live in a very, very weird parallel universe that I just don't completely understand. So awesome. Every crypto exchange has basically announced that they're trying to get more of a presence in Europe. I wonder why. Because the US SEC is probably like the worst thing that they've ever had to work with. So this is why we've heard, I think it's Coinbase has like a place in Ireland now. Binance is all over Europe. Gemini? I don't remember what Gemini has, if anything. Kraken's also trying to expand, and those are kind of like the big exchanges anyway. So not that the other ones aren't relevant, but it's more of a, I realize that I make a lot of weird noises in my videos, and then I wonder if other people understand what I'm saying, and I just assume that you do, because that's the Kraken news. Wow, they're expanding. I've never seen a company do that before. That's wild. I wonder if they're going to make money. And yeah, let's move on. Also in, sure, why not? So Bithumb, BITHUMB, is a very popular crypto exchange within South Korea. And they've announced that they're planning on going public in the second half of 2025. That is a very weird time, and I would like to tell them that they should change that time frame, because so if you haven't been here before for other bull runs, what ends up happening is that during the height of a bull run, companies begin to go public, and they launch all their things that they're trying to do. Their stock valuation goes up, and then the end of the bull run begins, and then those companies kind of like end up collapsing. So you launching or trying to go public like 3 months, or even the second half of 2025 indicates that they would be doing this right at the end of the bull run. Around like November, December is normally when the bull runs tend to end. That's not very. Is no one there into crypto? Have they not looked at the market trends before? The company has selected Samsung Securities, yep, that Samsung, as the underwriter. The IPO is seen as an attempt to enhance corporate trust and regain the top spot in the market. That's not how you do it. Like buy your stock. But no, this is so wrong. Why do I'm a cryptocurrency news commentator. Why can I tell them that that's wrong? If you launch when the market is just about to start going down, this is why Coinbase had so many problems. Because they had all this stuff, they went public, the market went down, and everyone was selling off their stock. Anyway, the point is, Bithumb is a major crypto exchange. We constantly have news once a week, twice a week, give or take, of another company who's trying to go public. We have Kraken, who's trying to go public. I think Binance, also expressed going public. I have no idea how that's going to work. Binance is one gigantic worldly entity. Gemini has not expressed it. Ripple has hinted that they're trying to go public. There was one other one, like one other big something. I don't remember. Cool. Fantastic. I just changed the date. Why not the second half of next year? You have to wait 2 years to go public? I mean, good luck. I can tell you right now it's not going to work out. I have a very strange feeling. October, November 2025, me, you, us are going to be here. And I'm like telling you about how their stock collapsed because that's what always ends up happening. I do sincerely hope that you've all enjoyed this very weird video. I do hope that you all are having a great day, morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. I do hope it's absolutely fantastic. Thank you all once again for watching, listening, liking, commenting, and or supporting. And I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See you.